Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Meet the Candidates event for the City of Saratoga Springs. Commissioner of Public Works is who we have tonight. All candidates on the ballot were invited. This event was organized by the League of Women Voters of Saratoga County. My name is Ann Krill. I am a member of the League of Women Voters of Saratoga County, and I will be your moderator tonight. The League of Women Voters of Saratoga County is a nonpartisan volunteer political organization dedicated to the informed and responsible participation of citizens in government. I want to thank you both for being candidates and running for office. The League never supports or opposes any political party or candidate. That has been League policy since 1920. Membership is open to anyone who is eligible to register and vote, whether male or female. Please consider joining your local league. Before we start, I want to remind the candidates and our audience that the video taken tonight is the property of the league and can only be used by the league or licensed media according to FCC regulations. This event will be posted in its entirety. It may not be used by the candidates except to post a link to the complete video. We do not make this request lightly. We have had recent experiences where candidates or their supporters have used portions of our video or an audience member's own video against their opponents. The League is a nonpartisan organization, and use of the video by a campaign specifically against another candidate goes against our purpose. Additionally, this behavior would discredit us with candidates, making it difficult for us to sponsor future forums. All candidates participating this evening have pledged that they will abide by our policy. Questions were sent to us by members of the community. League members reviewed them and compiled them to be representative and to avoid redundancy. We reject questions of a personal nature. Candidates, this is your opportunity to let voters know your stance on the topics and how you will address the issues facing the city of Saratoga Springs. Please don't waste valuable time tearing down or labeling your opponent. Deal with facts, and in your closing statements, don't put your opponent on the spot with no chance to reply. We have timers for this event. Cards will be held up for the candidates to glance at. Green means 1 minute is left. Yellow means 30 seconds are left. And red means time is up. There are 3 candidates for the 1 seat of Commissioner of Public Works. All candidates were invited, as I said before. And the candidates, as they are on the ballot, as they are listed on the ballot, are Donald J. Reeder on the Working Families line, Anthony Skip Scirocco on the Republican and Conservative line, Dominique Yermolayev on the Democratic and Functional Party lines. We did invite all candidates, but unfortunately, one of them did not respond, so Donald Reeder will not be with us tonight. Now it is time to hear their 2-minute opening statements. They have drawn lots to determine the order, and first is Skip Scirocco.
Thank you. I'd first like to thank the League of Women Voters for hosting this forum and to Dominique for participating. I want to commend you for stepping up to the plate and your willingness to run in these challenging times. I look forward to sharing ideas tonight. The Department of Public Works is a 24-hour, 365-day per year department. We deal with problems and emergencies at a moment's notice, while also providing long-term planning on issues that are important to residents. On any given day, you might deal with heavy rain, decisions about flowers, or issues with aging infrastructure. There is no guidebook because the most important problems are often unpredictable. When I first ran, I shared with public that my priorities were teamwork, open space, and preservation. Since coming into office, I added one more, which is infrastructure. But I believe during my 7 terms, I've delivered on this agenda and continue to do so. I focused on working cooperatively with the council to develop relationships with my colleagues to accomplish what's in the best interest of the public. I've championed trail projects, improving our city parks, enhancing the urban forest, and I've made certain that DPW highlights in the importance of our history through preservation of the Campfield Casino, and more recently, the emergency renovation and restoration of City Hall. Infrastructure has also been key. We've made progress with significant investment into our water and sewer systems. For example, over $14 million have been invested into the water system alone. This includes upgrades to aging pipes, improvements to the Geyser Crest well system, and adding the Bog Meadow wells to meet water source capacity needs. Although much has changed since I first ran, my passion and desire to serve the people of Saratoga Springs is stronger now than it ever was, and I look forward to this debate tonight to discuss important issues with Dominique. Thank you.
Thank you, Skip. Now it is time for Dominique Yermolaev's opening statement.
Thank you, Anne. And thank you, Skip, also for being here tonight. I'm going to be brief with my opening statements since I imagine this debate will be mostly about policy. And I just want to thank the community of Saratoga Springs for giving me the opportunity to run and be on the ballot. When we moved here in 2015, 2016, we saw a community that my husband and I wanted to serve. And a part of me running has to do with wanting to give back to people who welcomed me so much here. My campaign is focused on efficiency and transparency and, bridging Saratoga to the modern era that we live in now. I really think Skip has always done a great job, but I hope that if I'm elected, I can make Public Works a new place for new ideas and communication. Thank you all for having me tonight, and I look forward to getting into it.
Thank you, Dominique. Now we're going to move to questions. And the first question will be asked first to Skip. What are your realistic goals for the department in the next 2 years?
Again, what I'd like to achieve, it's imperative to keep the, and again, I'm just going to revert back to my questions because I think that was one of the questions that was asked in the responses. Is to keep the city vibrant through these challenging times. Apparently working with the business community, making sure that they have what they need. It's important that we work with the different organizations, making sure that they they have what they need. Working with the city council and cooperatively, making sure that all our facilities are in order. It's a difficult time right now, and I think cooperation is the number one thing that we can do to make keep the city vibrant, keep things working.
Okay, thank you. Dominique, first question. Your realistic goals for the department in the next 2 years.
Thank you. Yes. With the existing projects and ongoing maintenance as part of the DPW mandate of municipal services, I have 3 areas that I want to focus on in the next 2 years specifically. The first one is finding a modern digital communications tool for constituents and the DPW to work together to respond to issues, similar to a ticket-based system that most people are already using. We actually already have the technology in place in City Hall. We just don't implement it well. The other thing that I would like to focus on is improving our scheduled services, such as leaf pickup and hydrant blowout. And the final thing, which is just a personal passion project, is updating our sidewalk legislation. There's a lot of concerns as our city continues to grow about the piecemeal nature of sidewalks. We do have the mayor's office stepping in with missing links, but there's more that can be done at the council level. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dominique. I want to remind each of you to mute yourselves after you're done speaking, unless that gets to be too complicated.
I'm sorry, what was that again?
I think if you mute yourselves after you speak, it will will have a better sound.
Okay.
I would love to do that, but I'm on a video setup because I get distracted when I'm in a computer. So we did a video setup so I wouldn't be too distracted.
Okay, I can't do that for you because
No,
wouldn't be able
I'm
to
telling
turn
you
it
that
back
I
on.
can't mute after everything because I'm using a video setup instead of a computer.
We can mute you if it becomes distracting, and just tell me and I can mute her.
Yes,
Perfect.
but we can't put her back on. I don't think.
Oh, that's true. It does get awkward.
Yeah, so we'll just have to live with that. If you would speak a little bit slower, Dominique, because I think we would understand you better, okay?
Yes.
Okay. Question number 2, and this will go first to Dominique. Saratoga Springs is an economically thriving city with more people moving in to enjoy that. This has resulted in heavy traffic and long lines along West Avenue, Broadway, and Route 50 leading to Northway. How can we better manage this traffic?
Thank you for asking me this. This is something that greatly affects where I live out on the Eastern Plateau. The increase in traffic is only going to continue as we increase development. One of the issues that we have is that we have to work with the county when deciding when to put in a traffic light. So I hope that we can continue to work with our county resources to evaluate the traffic needs. You know, now that the census is complete, we have a little bit more data about what's going on up here and a little bit more of a mandate to, you know, add things like traffic circles, traffic lights, and stop signs where there may not have been one before.
Okay, thank you, Dominique. Skip.
Yes. I think Dominique's right. I think, you know, working with the Department of Public Safety, obviously that's their thing. They work with traffic. Working with the Department of Transportation, the State Department of Transportation, and the county, because the city is the hub, and there's roads that are around the county. For instance, Geyser Road is a county road. Route 9 is actually a state road. So I think working with those, you know, outside entities, those regulating agencies, would help us down as far as making it work for us. Having traffic in the city is not a bad thing. I mean, you know, we want to encourage people to come here and you know, and spend their money here, and you know, it helps us with sales tax. It helps us, you know, with those issues. But traffic can be a problem. Regulating lights, issues with stop signs, that's certainly an issue. So that's it.
Okay, thank you, Skip. Okay, we're ready for question number 3, and Skip, you will go first this time. How do you plan to listen to residents, transmit information to the public, and increase transparency as Commissioner of Public Works and member of the City Council?
Again, I take pride in my, you know, the way we operate the Department of Public Works. We've been very transparent at all city council meetings. Right now, we're working on similar to what Dominique is working on. It'll be in place on 2022. It's an online payment portal for water and sewer customers to pay their bills, and and they can do it either through email or you know, online, and you know, it would help them with information like water main breaks, hydrant flushing, you know, and upgrades in that respect. So we're working on a communication system right now, and again, it'll be in effect in 2022. And I think it's important that, you know, in this day and age with technology the way it is, we should be doing stuff like that, and I don't disagree with that. So.
Thank you, Skip. Dominique, question number 3.
Sure, yes. You know, we already have the technology in place in the city. We just need to use it better. My background in enterprise resource planning and logistics means I know how to manage information and the flow of it. One of the things I do want to bring back, in addition to this online system, is the annual report. DPW has not published an annual report since 2017. And while they do really wonderful work every year, I mean, I see the guys out every day. I think the annual report really shows the breadth of the effort of the department. We need to continue to show the great work that people who work in the DPW department do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dominique. And the next question, number 4, goes first to Dominique. Do you believe the city should actively support the creation of a navigation center? That would be a facility that supplies services, including shelter, to homeless persons.
So just a clarifying question, the navigation center is specifically to homeless and other social services?
That's what I understand. This question did not come from me, so I'm not sure, but that's what it says. That it would be a
Thank you.
facility that supplies services, including shelter, to homeless persons.
Thank you, Anne, for clarifying, because I'm sure, as Skip can also say, a navigation center is often used as a term for an area where you have a command for different logistical elements of the city. Sometimes when DPW is shared with the Department of Safety. But in regards, I'm going to answer the question now. Thank you for clarifying. In regards specifically to the homeless shelter and social services, while it might be helpful, I think it would be best to work with existing networks of shelters of Saratoga to continue their implementation of what they've already done, including the Code Blue shelter that already exists, and trying to support that network than trying to start something from new. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dominique. Skip?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's important that we work with, with our county mental health system, the, state systems, our own, our own offices to help out. Community development helps out with homeless issues. Currently we're working on a plan right now to, we're working with Shelters of Saratoga for a Code Blue shelter. That's in the works. That'll probably happen maybe after the first of the year, I think. But obviously homelessness is an issue in this area, in the city. And if I'm elected, I'll work hard to try to resolve the issue. I don't think, and again, there's all different types of homelessness. People become homeless, because they just lose their job and lose their home. People become homeless because they have mental health issues. They have alcohol issues. We need to deal with those organizations that can help them, get back on track.
Thank you, Skip. Okay, the next question is number 5, and I will go first to you, Skip. At least 10 years ago, repair of street lights along the arterial was a hot topic, but nothing happened. Is it time to revisit it?
The city is currently in the process right now with NYPA to purchase all the streetlights in the city, convert them over to LED, and obviously save money and with a maintenance program, so this won't happen again. But we are currently under contract with NYPA to do that.
Okay, thank you, Skip. Dominique?
Yes, we should continue with the existing programs and maybe expand them also to make sure that our streetlights are dark sky compliant. Right now, some of our streetlights are leased, and I think a more comprehensive plan would help. This is slightly off topic, but in addition to, I think it would be helpful to have a list of streetlights online so that people can report when a streetlight is out to enumerate. I mean, each streetlight actually already has an enumeration. I have a streetlight on my property, so I call in and I just say the number. But if we can have a more cohesive system online about what's happening, I think that would help people understand better the work that's being done.
Okay, thank you, Dominique. Question number 6 will go to you first, Dominique. A civilian review board, CRB, was recommended for adoption by the Police Reform Task Force, appointed by Saratoga Springs City Council. Do you support the creation and funding of a CRB?
Thank you for asking me this.
I'm sorry. Yeah, this goes first to Dominique. Yeah.
Thank you for asking me this. First, I do like to stay in my lane with DPW, but I realize as a member of the commission, I will have a vote on the board. I am at this phase in time generally concerned about the creation of the CRB because it is as it's posted today, possible to be easily swayed by future governments. If the plan were to evolve such that the CRB could actually stay independent of future commissions, then I would definitely support it. But I generally get concerned when we create another board or group, because there are a lot of them in Saratoga that deal with public works, and a lot of them rise and fall with the political tides. And I would hope that whatever we design does not.
Okay, thank you. Skip, question number 6.
Yes, I do support it. And I think it could be a good liaison between the police and the citizens in the city. It's it could work in favor of the police. They could be more accountable. It makes them more accountable. And in some cases, maybe just if there's some frivolous type of complaint, they can just kind of investigate it and go away, as versus keep festering out there and making things worse. It depends on who's sitting in those seats and how it's all going to happen. I know the city right now is looking at a proposal from the Public Safety Commissioner. I think it needs, and that proposal is, got some questions. I have some concerns with it, but I think in the coming weeks we'll be looking at something to put out there, and then work from that. The task force made some recommendations. I think the task that needs to be in some of those recommendations need to be incorporated in that. But I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's a good idea.
Okay, thank you, Skip. I want to remind both of you that you have 2 red cards, which we're going to give you an extra minute or 2. You can use them simultaneously. After we have the questions period, they cannot be used during the closing statement. That's why I'm telling you now. I have 3 more questions. So this is question number 7, and it goes first to Skip. What do you see as the role of the Department of Public Works in creating a healthy and sustainable environment for residents?
Department of Public Works on a daily basis is out there. We're providing enhancements to the environment. And for instance, planting trees. We run a compost site. There's a number of things that we do. That's my answer.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, Skip. Dominique?
Yes, the role of DPW, which is the role of providing municipal services, infrastructure, and other utilities to the city of Saratoga, means that we need to start creating systems that are going to outlive us. Instead of fixing something on a 5 or 10 year time frame, we need to start looking at the 100-year flood plan, especially in the era of climate change. One of the things that I would like to focus on, if elected, is finding land acquisition opportunities in the Greenbelt, whether that is through the city or through setting up a separate land trust so that we can buy at-risk properties and make sure that they're endowed for future generations. I think the DPW could play a huge role in working with Sustainable Saratoga and Saratoga Plan to help save these properties from development. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Can I use a card now?
Okay, a red card for Skip. Go ahead.
Yes. That's a great answer. And I agree. The city now has a open space committee that currently already does that. They look into areas that the city can purchase, and we had a $5 million open space grant. We purchased a number of years ago. They purchased the waterfront park. We purchased some property out off of Crescent Street on both ends of Crescent. So we're constantly looking at properties to buy. We've purchased some property around Lufberry Lake to protect the lake. So we're currently already doing that.
Okay, another red card. All right, Dominique, Go ahead.
Yes, just to clarify my plan a little more, I actually want to implement a land trust. So not that the city owns and manages land that in future political persuasions could be sold off, but to find a way to keep certain land in the city forever wild through endowment. Thank you.
Okay, shall we go to the next question? All right, the next question goes first to Dominique. Can you or should you speak to residents concerned about lead and safe drinking water? How do you plan to address these concerns?
Yes, and I'm going to speak really fast, so I apologize now. I already have been speaking with residents because it is an issue within the Democratic Party in Saratoga, of which I received the vacancy of their line. So as a part of working with them, I've been talking to a lot of people about lead in the water. What we've recommended to residents so that we can get a clear picture of what's going on in Saratoga is that they order the free lead water test from the city of, from the state of New York. I think one of the issues in Saratoga is that the lead is caused by certain development and soldering in different neighborhoods, and we don't know. I don't know because I don't know what is not published online or through research where the lead problems exist. So if we can get more people to order lead water tests and we can create a clearer map of an issue, whether it's an individual resident, a neighborhood, or a specific district, we'll be able to better address it in the future. Please get the lead water tests. They're online, New York State.
Okay, thank you, Dominique. Skip?
Yes. Yes. I mean, yeah, she's right. You can get a test kit to test in your own house for lead, and you know, I can tell you that we made all the requirements for DOH requirements as far as what we're putting out of the water treatment plant. The lead we found out is coming from like old solder, old pipes that's in your house, and it obviously gets into your system. We've had complaints from a few neighbors. We've gone out, we've investigated. The health department's investigated. You know, we're not putting lead into the house. The lead's in the house itself. It's in the fixtures. It's in the pipes. It's in that sort of thing. So people, if they test their system with the test kit, they'll be able to find out if in fact they have, you know, lead in the system. And but there's no other way to, you know, to do it. You have to have the test kit. You have to do it, or you can send it out and have it tested. I guess the state will do it, but that's
okay. We have another red card. All right, go ahead, Dominique.
I just want to add to that the state will perform the lead water test for free. And if more people start performing lead water tests and we as a city can start collecting the data of who's performed the lead water test and what's happening, we can draw a clearer picture of what's going on, whether it's an issue for your individual home, or maybe your neighborhood was done by a developer and the developer used solder throughout the neighborhood pipes. But we don't know what we don't know. And I really encourage people to do this. It's an issue close to my heart. And doing these lead water tests are free and reporting it to the city is free. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I believe we're ready to go on to question number 9, which will be our last question. And it goes first to Skip. And remember, let's see, Skip still has 1 red card. Charter change was a hot topic last year. Did you support it? Why or why not?
charter change. I'm sorry, would I or would I not support it?
Did you support it is the question, and why or why not?
The city, I believe it was the city, was it last year? I can't, COVID kind of got in the way, but the city, the mayor formed her own committee. It was made up of the commissioners and the deputy commissioners. And we came up with a change to the current charter, some recommendations that I thought were good changes to the current charter. And it was rejected by the voters. So again, this is a document that went out. It was rejected by the voters. Time to move on.
Okay, thank you. Dominique, your reply.
Thank you. Yes. Charter change is dead. It's been voted down a couple of times. I voted it down personally because what was put in front of me felt like a piece of potbelly legislation. There was a lot of really good ideas, but 2 or 3 bad ideas. And if I have to vote for everything, I want to vote for what makes sense for the city. And right now the commission form of government is working. That being said, the charter is up for review every X number of years based on the mayor and certain mandates within the city charter itself. So this will come back on the table. And one of the things that I hope for in the future is to have neighborhood-based representation, where we put the city on a grid and each neighborhood has someone that they can elect to represent themselves better. As we continue to grow, having a unified body decide what's best for the entire city might not actually be best for Geyser Crest. You know, their wastewater management issues are a lot different than what's happening, say, in North Broadway. So while we have the UDO and the current commission form of government who's able to handle it, as we continue to grow, I worry that we're not doing our best job at representing each neighborhood. Thank you.
Okay, I believe it is time now for us to move on to closing statements. And first will be Skip Scirocco.
Thank you. I want to thank the League of Women Voters again for hosting this debate. I appreciate the opportunity to discuss important issues with the public. I'm a lifelong resident of Saratoga Springs and along with my wife raised our 2 sons here in the city. We're now proud grandparents of 4 grandchildren and couldn't be happier. They all live right here in Saratoga Springs. It's important to acknowledge that our city is the most successful city in upstate New York. DPW, along with other city departments, play an important role in contributing to that success by delivering quality services every day. I enjoy improving the infrastructure and building for our city's future so that future generations can benefit from this success. It's an honor to serve the public, and I'm humbly asking for your vote on November 2nd. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Closing statement, Dominique.
Yes, again, I would also like to thank the League of Women Voters for putting this on. And I actually want to thank Skip for being a wonderful running mate. I think I have a good time with this, and I'm so lucky to be running against him, someone who's done a great job for so many number of years in the city of Saratoga Springs. But I also think that I could be a great person to bring us into the future. You know, my background in enterprise resource planning and logistics could really help modernize the city as a whole while continuing the great work that he did. I also want to thank the guys that work at DPW. They do a great job every day and they keep our city running, our water flowing, you know, and our hydrants flushed. So I want to, you know, end this thought and remark with, I hope that you can consider to vote for me in a few weeks and that I can serve you and this community that's been so welcoming to me and my family. Thank you.
Thank you, Dominique, and thank you to both of you for appearing tonight, for being so respectful, and for being a part of our forum tonight. I want to tell the audience to please remember to vote. You must register by October 8th, and you need to change your address if you have moved, and that has to be submitted by October 13th. Early voting starts on Saturday, the 23rd through Sunday, the 31st. Absentee ballots can be requested by mail until October 18th and postmarked by November 2nd. Absentee ballots may be requested in person all the way up till November 1st and returned in person on voting day, November 2nd by 9 p.m. The general election, November 2nd, polls are open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. And please check with the Board of Elections for your own polling place. You can also check on Vote 411. If you put your information in, you will see that you are registered, where your polling site is, who all your candidates are, and how they have answered the questions. You will also see the questions on the ballot. There's 5 questions on the ballot this year. It's important to consider those before you go to vote. Thank you, candidates, again, for attending this event and helping to educate the voters. And thank you, audience, for taking the time to learn about the candidates.